Good morning, everyone. Let me start with the roofs program, because every single day we get numerous calls about what is happening. And even this morning on my way here, I spoke with 3 persons who had 3 different situations. One person was assessed physically, along with persons in her community, but still have not heard anything. So what's happening. Another person who called was not assessed physically, but they came into the community, took her information and said they would come back, and no one has came back. And there was this other person who was not assessed any at all, but has been to the NIS office on numerous occasions and was told she just has to wait until they come into the community. These are serious situations that we're having, because after 6 months, I've still not been able to pick up the pieces after such a devastating hurricane. And they are frustrated because they don't know what is really happening with regard to the government assistance. And this is the only substantial program that has been implemented. And the fact is, the majority of persons have not been able to receive assistance. And even those who have, the assistance is still inadequate with regards to the type of damage that they got to their houses. Dayton spoke about the cash grant where persons have to travel all the way to Montego Bay, and that has been frustrating again for the residents who have suffered in Melissa, because what they have gone through, they should not have to be going through this note just to get the assistance that they totally deserve. The shelter issue is also another major issue, especially at the Petersfield shelter in central Westmoreland, where we still have 41 residents, which include 12 children. I was there on Sunday and again yesterday to visit the residents to hear what they're saying. And the major issue they're having is communication, because the fact is the government has made so many promises since the passage of the hurricane to them that has not been fulfilled up to today. The last thing we have heard is that by the 8th of May, they should be moving them to suitable locations. But they are disheartened because every time they hear something, it has not come through. So we're really hoping that this comes through. But the area that they have designated to put these houses, we have not seen much work being done in that area. So I'm really wondering if this May 8th deadline is actually realistic. But I'm hoping and praying that it really works out. And another issue we're having is that, as I said, with communication, even with myself, the ministry personnel came down, toured the sites, and not even the common courtesy to invite the member of parliament, who the people are calling every day, to at least have that part of communication where we can liaise and let persons know what is happening. And I think that is unacceptable. But what is really bothering everybody is the condition that the persons are living in. And when you visit the shelter, it's really disheartening. You really pray and wonder what will happen to these persons. But we're really hoping that this May 8th deadline doesn't pass. And we're also asking the minister to really think about the persons who left the shelter, because persons who would have given, they have given certain ultimatums to leave the shelter at different times. Not everybody stayed, some people left. But if you visit the communities, you see people under tents, literally, because they had to leave the shelter because they thought they would have been thrown out. So they left, but some of them are living in really deplorable conditions. So what I'm saying, the ministry has the information because you took the information from these persons. So if you need help to go and find them, you can also contact me because we know where they are. But persons who have left the shelter, we're also asking to remember them when the housing solutions are being provided. The road situation in central Westmoreland is horrible. And up to yesterday, we had to deal with a protest on the Hartford to Williamsfield main road where persons blocked the road because of the poor conditions. And we understand the frustration they're going through, because every day traversing these roads, they damage your vehicles, they damage everything. And they blocked it yesterday. We have promised to do some temporary work, which we are starting today and tomorrow. But it is only a temporary fix, and that is from my own resources. Because at the end of the day, the resources that we are waiting on from the NWA to do patching will not come forth probably until a month or two, because we contacted the NWA yesterday. We heard that we will get a new patching program in the new financial year, but we were not able to get a timeline from them as to what date it will be done. And we have many other areas like this across the constituency where I know people are very frustrated about what is happening. And there's also a bridge situation, because we had 2 bridges that were seriously devastated in the hurricane. That would be adding to one we had before in Fullersfield. But in Frome and Grange, serious deterioration. And the Frome one
We have had 2 major accidents already. One person died in a bike accident, and then we had a head-on collision after. And in Grange, up to yesterday, a car fell into the area that has been deteriorated. So we're asking the government to move speedily on this because we have not been able to hear from them as to when some serious work will be done in these areas, because we did not see anything in the budget and we have been asking, but we have not been able to get a real response from them. And before I close, just quickly, electricity restoration. Most areas in Central we have gotten electricity, but we have had a lot of pockets in different areas where some sections have light and some don't. And we have been in contact with the members of the JPS, but what is really happening, as they're saying, they are short staff, I guess, because the team that came to assist has left for the most part. So the local team is saying they're short staff with regards to getting the work done. So we're asking if anything can be done to improve the levels of service that the JPS has so they can go out there and quickly restore, because I didn't have electricity for 2.5 months and it was so frustrating. So to imagine being without it for 6 months, it is really unacceptable for where we are in this country, and we should have had that sorted out by now. But I'll leave the other issues to my other MP who will speak soon. Thank you.